Rob, thank you for being here with the Kitchen Table Patriots today, taking the time to talk to us. We want to start out by finding out more about you, your background, and why is it that you want to run for county commissioner?
Well, thanks, Anna, and thanks to everyone that's here from the Kitchen Table Patriots. I first want to thank you guys for your support this past year in my race for state representative for the 31st District in the Newtown Yardley area. We had a good race against a very strong incumbent, and we got about as close as you can get. Fell a few votes short, but I think the reason why I'm interested in serving in this position is similar to the reasons why I enjoy serving in local government and serving the people of Bucks County. Bucks County is my hometown. This is where I grew up. Born and raised here. I was born at Lower Bucks Hospital way back in 1968. I lived in Falls Township for a little bit before moving to Newtown Township and graduated from Council Rock High School in 1986. And I've always had a passion for this area, that's my hometown. And I got involved in local government as a citizen back in, I'd say, 2004, when I saw some things happening at the local level that were detrimental to what I thought would be the best quality of life for the residents of Newtown Township, where I grew up and where I had moved back to. There were some issues with zoning that was happening with our Board of Supervisors, where I thought they were making a lot of deals and concessions for the housing developers. And if you've lived in Bucks County for 20 years or more, you've seen this county change. You've seen the increase in housing, and that's caused some strains on our local government and also our quality of life. So I ran for township supervisor in 2007 because I saw changes were not being made, and I was able to make some impact on things like stopping housing developments and changing our zoning back to more zoning that was less high density and more a typical single family housing. I see the position of county commissioner as having an impact on the quality of life of every Bucks County citizen, and I believe I can make an impact, as I have in Newtown Township. So this is a unique opportunity with Jim Cawley, one of our county commissioners, moving on to become lieutenant governor soon. And I believe the county needs somebody that understands this area, understands the wants and needs of the residents, has a passion for Bucks County, and will also hold the spending in check in these times where we're watching our residents not see their salaries increase, they're losing their jobs, they're having their bonuses disappear, they're paying more for health care. We can't continue on a path which I've seen us do, which is increasing spending by close to 4%, 5% each year. We saw that similarly in state government, which is one reason why I was very interested in state government, with our past governor increasing spending by 40% in 8 years. We can't go on that path and do the things that we need to do in Bucks County. So I think I can be an asset to hold the line on spending, really dive into the budgets. It's something I've done in Newtown Township, and that's why I'm seeking this opportunity.
Let me just ask one more question, and I'll pass the microphone. But while we're talking about your qualifications, what makes you different from the other candidates that are also seeking the position? Because I think there's 8 other candidates right now seeking the position as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of candidates seeking this opportunity because, again, it's unique to be appointed and not have to run for an entire year and run in an election and then to serve. So there's going to be a lot of different candidates, and everyone has their strengths and weaknesses. I focus more on my strengths than anyone else's weaknesses. I've been involved in now 4 different township budgets in Newtown, and this budget that we're about to pass next week will actually spend less than we spent this year. When I was looking at the spending increases, it looks like we're spending less than 1% a year, which is pretty unheard of. I don't think you'll find another candidate that will come in here, sit in this chair, and say, they've been involved in 4 budgets, and over 4 years, spending's only increased by 4%. Additionally, right now we're involved with labor negotiations, so I have that experience. We did some negotiations last year, and unfortunately, our public sector unions weren't willing to compromise, and we had to effectuate layoffs. But I think the layoffs and the consolidations that we've done in Newtown Township has made the township run more efficiently, effectively. I don't get any complaints. In fact, when our public services are needed, like the last snowstorm, we got a lot of good response from our residents that we were clearing that snow away, one of the biggest snowstorms I've ever seen, actually, in Bucks County, and as someone who was born and raised here. They did a tremendous job. So I think the difference that you'll see is you'll see a lot of candidates who have increased taxes, they've increased spending, and I've seen this at different boards, even in Newtown Township. There was a budget proposed, and somebody would say, well, does this raise taxes? And the manager would say no, and they would pass it. They wouldn't go in and say, well, is this really what we certainly need? Or are we spending on things that are necessary, or are we just pushing spending because we can get away with it with either a minor tax increase or no tax increase? And those are the budgets that I inherited, where because we have an earned income tax and it was going up 5, 7, 8% each year, spending would go up. And everyone would think, well, we got all this revenue, let's just spend it. Instead, you need to set benchmarks of what are we going to do, what's going to be our benchmark for spending, or are we going to go into a budget and say no tax increase and then work backwards? So I think that's one of the strong points. And obviously the knowledge of Bucks County. I don't know all the candidates. I don't know how many of them have a 42-year link to this county and have been involved with county services from, as a little child. I used to go to the Bucks County Free Library to, now getting involved in, actually last year I was on the library board. So I've been involved in different levels of Bucks County my whole life, and I think that's an asset to not only the county if so appointed, but also as a Republican, I think it could be a very strong asset to the Republican Party, because obviously this person who's appointed is going to need to run next year. And I think that's also a difference that I'm just coming off a campaign where we had a very strenuous effort. I know how to raise money. I know how to get the message out there. I know how to use social media.
Yes, you do.
Yeah. And I think that all those things are necessary to have continue on with fiscal conservatism in Bucks County.